Good evening, everybody. What's up? What's up? This your boy Cali Cal, and I got my daughter Adia Danielle with me tonight. She wanted to come live. She wanted to share a few things, and I'm gonna let her talk in a little bit because God has placed a word in her heart, and we're gonna let her share some things. Isn't that right, Snoop?
Yeah.
But listen, y'all, I know it's a lot going on in the world. The coronavirus, presidential race, just so many different things in current events. I wanted to talk about just first the coronavirus. I hope you all are being safe out there. I see the grocery stores packed and can barely get any food out there. So listen, y'all, just hope everybody, do their best to be safe and just be encouraged, full of faith, knowing that God has us in the palm of His hands. God has us, covered on every side. Let me just say that right now. So don't be worried. Don't be afraid. Just move with caution, move with wisdom, and everything. But don't be afraid. So going back to China, I flew to China June of 2019 to meet with a couple of manufacturers for my product, my activewear product called the Go Belt. And while I was there in China, great hospitality from the people. I loved just some of the sights and just being there. But I'll never forget the sadness I felt when looking around to see how the burden of the world's manufacturing is taking its toll on the environment in China. And I could easily look around and see that by all the smog that was in the air. You could tell that the smog that's kind of over the land is from the overwhelming amount of manufacturing that goes on. And so because of the smog, they'll have like humidity and rain. And I believe it's rain, caused from just from the amount of, humidity and from all the manufacturing plants that it kind of puts in the atmosphere. So that was one thing I noticed. And I thought to myself, man, it's like the whole world is using China. And I felt bad that it made me feel bad a little bit that I was going to get my product, manufactured there. But the conundrum is, in the U.S. to get it manufactured, it costs about the same price as what you want to sell the product at. So places like China and Indonesia and other places like that, they have cheaper manufacturing is the only way you can really make a profit, it seems. Unless manufacturers here in the U.S. lower their prices or somehow find a way to make it more affordable to make things here. So I was there and I felt that as I looked around and I'll never forget the feeling I felt of like, man, the burden of the whole world, manufacturing falls on China. So, fast forward to now, you got the coronavirus happening. I definitely see a correlation. I see a connection there because, with the population being what it's been, with the overwhelming amount of work, and it just seems like there's a connection. I may not be able to articulate what exactly it is right now, and I'm not going to try to act like I know why the coronavirus happened because I don't. And I'm not going to try to act like I know where it came from. That's all being researched. But I do know that we need to pray for China, and we need to pray for China's economy. We need to pray for the U.S. We need to pray for all the nations of the world. But I think what this has shown us is that the world is not, even though the world is huge, it's still like a global community, and it's not as big as we think. One day this was in China, the next week it's in America, and it's in other places of the world. So the world is not that big in terms of when you look at how logistics and advancements in technology and travel and has changed the world. So, but my whole thing is I think we need to pray for China because it's just the fact that I think if we just be honest, I mean, we're using China. A lot of nations are using China. I feel like, and I say use because is the wage fair for what they're producing? versus the markup at what companies make, big companies. I don't think so. I feel like it's more abuse happening. So I feel as though they don't need to abuse their environment to try to keep up with the world's output of products and goods. And I think it's unfair to them in their environment. I know it's making money for, big companies are happy because they're making all this money, but that's something environmentally we're gonna have to look at to change that and spread the manufacturing out over different countries, and everything can't be in China. You know what I mean? I know it's happening now. India is getting a whole lot of places. Indonesia, other places are starting to, even places in South America are getting more manufacturing plants. But in the future, I definitely see that changing. But in the meantime, Lord, we just pray that for China and all the people um, that are affected by the coronavirus. So what's going to happen now? Are you going to see changes within other areas? I mean, I know, I'm a faith leader, so I talk about church and kingdom and culture a lot. So it's already been talks of not gathering in big masses of people, not gathering. Schools are shutting down, closing down. And for the church, I think they're the changes that are coming forth. More people staying at home to worship, more people, not really going to the congregation, at least for a while. So I think that brings us back to some of the practices of the early church where we were going house to house and we had home Bible studies or home worship gatherings, gathering around the dinner table. I'm going to let you talk. Gathering around the dinner table, having that fellowship. And I feel as though that's what we're moving back towards. I'm not saying that we won't be gathering as a traditional church in certain buildings, but I definitely feel the shift happening to move to where it will mirror more like what the early church looked like, going house to house, communities, the presence of the Lord being in different communities and neighborhoods where His kingdom is being advancing in that way. And the same experience that you're having on Sunday mornings where you feel the presence of God is happening in your house. And so just to give you a quick story about, about prayer rooms. My mother, hold on, we're going to get to you, I promise. My grandfather had a prayer room in his house. And I know he still has it there to this day. And my mom, I'll never forget her testimony. One day she came home. She was a young girl. Came home from being, partying, and she was, doing smoking. I guess, she was high, and so she came home, and she was tired of the lifestyle she was living. And she said she always knew that her dad had a prayer. They had a prayer room in the house, because he raised them to know God and everything, as a man of faith and a pastor as well. So she went to the prayer room and, high, just from partying and everything, living her life. And she said she got down on her knees and asked God. She said, God, I know that you're real. They told me that if I prayed and asked you to come into my heart, that you would change me. And God, she said she prayed that prayer, asked God to come into my heart, change me. I don't want to live like this anymore. I want you to change me. And in that moment, on her knees, God came into her heart. And from that point, she went in, eyes bloodshot red, came out, God had sobered her up, eyes pearly white, and she started walking with the Lord ever since. And my cousin Manuel Sawyer, who I love, he's not here, God bless him. He told me later on, as an older man, he realized what happened because he seen her before she went in the prayer room. She said, "Man, Aunt Renee came in, I had bloodshot red. I never forget. She went in there, prayed. She came out, boy, eye pearly white. But I'm telling you, boy, God real. Man, you know how low." So he was able to see. He said, "I knew and I got older. I experienced some things. I knew what happened." And God changed my mom's heart. And because of that, because of that prayer room, and because of that prayer that night, I honestly believe that's why I'm here talking to you right now on this live. or on this video. I know that that's why my daughter Snoopy is sitting right here right now, full of faith, because Nana prayed one night and asked God to come into her heart. So in your house, I'm admonishing you all. Let's get back to having a prayer room. Let's get back to having a music room, a place where God meets. So Adi, let's show them our prayer room. You can't be looking no sad on the video like that. You know, you gotta smile. People gonna be seeing you. It's hundreds of people gonna watch this, and you want to see you looking like smile up, down. You want. So Adi, what do you like about the music room? And let's show them. Can we show them our room where we set aside? We've set aside a room in our house for God to meet with us, and let's show them how it looks. Let's show them. Let's show them. Is that all right, Adi? See, I thought you wanted to be a part of this. You told me you did. All right, so. I know. So we just got a place where, and we just still getting it going. I mean, but this is the place we have just set aside for when we want to have, play music, pray. It's a room that's set aside for God to meet with us. Okay, Adi, come on back, because I'm gonna come. It's time for us to talk with you now. That's what we're coming back to. Where in your house you're gonna see healing, you're gonna see preaching, right in your house. So Adia, I want Adia to talk to y'all for a minute. And Adia, why tell them whatever you want to say. Don't kick this thing. And smile, like don't frown. You have to be. You happy, right?
I don't know what to say.
Okay. Why do you like to have a room set aside?
Okay, let's say something what I want to say before I say it back.
All right, well, tell them.
So today I went to school and I'm a princess and that's it.
Cool. So let's talk about this, because one day, y'all, my daughter came home and she was like, "Dad, I want to be baptized," and I thought that was so awesome. So what you're also going to start seeing is men.
Okay, I know what to say.
We're going to start taking back that priestly function in our own house. So I'm excited to announce that I'm going to be baptizing our daughter in just a few weeks because she wants to be baptized. So imagine that, fathers in the household, you baptizing your child. Man, that's what's about to start happening, that kind of stuff. So tell them, why did you want to be baptized?
Because I've never been baptized before. Because I'm an old person. Like, not like I'm an old grandma. I'm like an old person that's like, I've been old for a while.
But why do you want to be baptized? What is baptism? What does it mean to be baptized?
I don't know.
When you were excited about being baptized and you came and told me, why do you want to have a relationship with Jesus? Tell them about that a little bit.
Well, I just want to. I want to be baptized because I've never been baptized before. And I'm an old person. It's not like I'm an old lady. It's like I've been a person.
But we did tell you what baptism was. We said that it was symbolic of you starting a new life with Jesus.
So I want to be a new person.
So she's gonna be baptized, y'all.
And I want to be baptized next Sunday, like this Sunday.
We're teaching her what it means, and she's learning.